Okay, I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. We'll begin with roll call.
All right, y'all, bear with me, please. My voice is leaving me. Senator Flowney, Senator Gasso, Senator Smith-Marceau, Senator Bevel, Senator Szilard, Senator Morris. He's on there? No. Okay. Senator Williams, Senator Joyce, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Sepulveda, Senator Otiocha, Senator Armstrong, Senator Dumas, Senator Lubale, Senator Guerra, Senator Parchman,
Here.
Senator Arentes, Senator Khalid, Senator Sneed, Senator Lopez, Senator Benacourt, Senator Seeley, Senator Houston, Senator Goldthorpe, Senator Yezik, Senator Muta. Is she on there? Senator Meyer, Senator Taylor, Senator Whitsitt, Senator Sita,
Okay, we'll go on to the approval of the minutes. This is October 28th minutes. We'll vote on them separately. All those in favor of October 28th minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes. Then this is November 4th minutes. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. Any opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, thank you. So that passes. Is there anyone here for open forum? Okay, moving on to speaker's podium. We have Dr. Philley here and Katheryn Lake as well. Okay.
Let's see if this works. Okay, it does. Well, hi, everyone. It's good to see you guys. This is a very formal setting. You guys look great, and I feel like we're about to get the federal government back on track in this room. So thank y'all for being here, and we're just excited. I'm Julie Philley. For those of you that don't know me or recognize me, I'm the president here. I recognize a lot of your faces from around campus, so it's really good to be here today. And this is Katheryn Lake, our Chief Strategy Officer, who also is around campus quite a bit. So we're just glad to come and talk to student government. I'm sorry about last time, or the time before last. I think I was scheduled, but it didn't make it on my Outlook calendar, and I'm sorry. I would have run over if I could, but I was actually out of town driving back from Dallas. I couldn't make it. So I'm so glad to be with you today and answer your questions. But also, Katheryn and I are both here to give you a kind of an update and a reminder of our strategic plan and our master plan, and answer any questions about timeline, and maybe spend more time answering your questions than we do talking. So with that, I'm going to actually turn it over to Katheryn to kind of run through our strategic plan and talk about some of our campus plans. And we're here for you, so we're going to be available to answer your questions. Again, thanks for having us.
Yes, I'd reiterate that. Thank you for having us. And like Dr. Philley said, I'm Katheryn Lake, the Chief Strategy Officer. And you say kind of, or I ask often, what does that mean? Strategy, what's the point of it? And kind of just to put it in context a little bit, imagine you're going on a road trip. A lot of times planning and strategy get confused. The planning of your road trip is who's bringing the snacks, who's doing the playlist, where are we getting gas? But the strategy of the road trip is, why are we going on a road trip? Where are we going? How are we going to get there? Why are we doing it? The what and the why is the strategy. So I spend a lot of my days thinking about, how do we not just drive somewhere, but we go on an amazing adventure and end up at an amazing place. And so when Dr. Philley and I first started, we asked the big question of, who is UT Tyler and who do we want to be in the future? And it really boils down to one very, very simple thing, which is, we want this to be a place where students thrive. You thrive here, and then you're set up to thrive after you leave us. And so our entire strategic plan is centered around you all. And there are, if you'll click to the, there we go. Perfect. Just a real high level, we had the opportunity to do two things at one time, but do a strategic plan refresh and a campus master plan. For the University of Texas system, about once a decade, they look at us and say, what's your campus master plan? And so we were able to do both things at the same time. And like I said, our strategic priorities, it is all about you guys. It is your success. Flowing immediately from that is, for you to be successful, you need to learn here. You need to have amazing experiences in the classroom and outside the classroom, but teaching excellence is going to be a huge priority. And y'all have already been incredibly helpful to us on that. I know Dr. Haas, Provost Haas, came and talked to y'all and asked you guys, what does good teaching look like for y'all? And y'all's answers were awesome. And we've already taken that to our Teaching Excellence Task Force and talked to them about how to make sure that every experience in our classrooms here is like that. So student success, y'all's engagement, are there activities you enjoy? Are you having fun while you're here? And then teaching excellence, is the classroom an excellent place to be? Are you learning how to think, how to be prepared for your job, how to be prepared for 3 jobs from now, for jobs that we can't even imagine today? And then the third thing is, obviously a very important one to all of us, but how are we of service to our region? And how do we serve those around us on campus? How do we serve other students, and how do we serve the region around us? And you all may or may not know this, but we also have a very large health system that's a part of us. It's about 10 hospitals, 100 clinics, over 12,000 square miles of East Texas. And so we think a lot about, how do we serve our students? How do we serve our patients? So when I think of UT Tyler, I think we have a tremendous opportunity to elevate what we're already doing, which is truly helping people thrive in their lives. So that's what we're here to do. To make that happen on campus, we've looked at our master plan, and these are kind of the big priorities. Enhancing the student experience. We heard a lot from y'all last year about how you want a true on-campus experience that's really fun and engaging, and there's a lot going on, and there is a strong feeling of community here. I think we can continue to enhance that more and more. Fostering that campus identity. How do you not just drive by really fast? And, I mean, by the time you kind of get to Enox, you realize there's a campus to your left, and then you're past it. How do we make sure people realize they're in our world? Welcome to UT Tyler. You have entered the land of UT Tyler. Increasing accessibility. That really speaks a lot to, like, our our mapping. How do people know where to go? On the first day of class, I know y'all have probably experienced like this, like Dr. Philley and I have. There are students that are lost all over the place. And what is this building? And how do I get there? And so how do we make it really more accessible and more welcoming? And then that's supporting the long-term growth. I don't know if y'all know this, but we have 1,100 more students this year than we did last year. That's how many new students came. So we are growing a lot. How do we do that in a responsible way where everybody can still find parking? And, some of these logistical things are thought about. So just real quickly, we'll show you what is kind of a proposed master plan. I think it's, still kind of up in the air, but the main highlights of this, I would say, are look at letter A, which is a sky bridge over University. Thinking about those 5 lanes of traffic going 55 miles per hour and people trying to hopscotch back and forth across that gives me nightmares. Y'all, please be careful, or don't do that or something. But so we want to get a safe way across it, but also I think that can help foster that campus identity. You realize as you're driving down University, I'm at a university. I've arrived here. And so we are thinking about a sky bridge that goes from this area right out here across to that retail area. And also, how can we help foster more things in that retail area? Could we use dining dollars over there and have some restaurants y'all really want over there? We're trying to think through all of that, have a real campus community around us. The other thing we hear a lot is housing and more housing on campus. So letter D shows what is proposed of making a retention pond, but it'll be kind of like a third lake for us. But it helps with a lot of erosion issues. But it also would be a lovely third lake for us, and then a dorm that would look out over the lake one way and over the baseball field the other way. So then any of the buildings that you see that are outlined in dark orange are existing buildings, but that need renovation. As you all have probably noticed, some of our classrooms and areas are pretty old feeling. They were built in the 70s and they haven't really been touched a lot since. So doing a lot of renovations and deferred maintenance in those areas and taking the opportunity to design some different types of classrooms than maybe we currently have. So the other thing we are thinking about, this is a little bit further down the road, maybe another dorm wing for more beds on campus. And D right there, you see across from Souls, so that's kind of next to the parking lot of Souls, could be imagine maybe a welcome center there that has everything you need, from your enrollment to the registrar to financial aid, a one-stop that has everything, but amazing, retail area where we have our store. And so imagine kind of an entrance, a newly imagined entrance that has that sky bridge and a welcome center and all of that kind of right there. So that becomes the main entrance versus over by Alumni House. And you see too, another piece that's big is a lot of these walkways. So the dam becomes a road, and a couple of other places around are actually connected so that, I think it's really fun right now to turn into Souls and dead end over here. But, to get to the other side of campus, you got to go back out on University and back around. So to have an interior campus loop where you could get around without having to get back on the main streets. So a lot of that is contemplated in here. Real quickly, a couple of photos. That's a rendering of what a sky bridge might look like across University. And, our beautiful university as it is today at the bottom right, which is just really inspiring. So we're working on that. Then the dorm and a bridge across the lake. So that's kind of what we're thinking about. And I've got some questions for you guys if y'all don't have any questions for us, but we'd really love to open it up to you guys and ask us anything. We're here to answer questions and also hear your feedback on what y'all want to see in the future. Dr. Philley, would you add anything to that?
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is we were here and we kind of showed some of these plans before, and one of the big questions is timeline. So we have some news even this week that the Sky Bridge, because we're not going to pay for all of this from UT Tyler. These are going to be federal dollars and dollars from the city and the state for road work. So we're making a lot of progress on that. We think we can start on this bridge probably in the beginning of the new year, which is exciting. Also, we had thought we are going to build out this fourth floor of this building. We had thought we could do a bunch of student facing services there, like put the one stop there, but it is not big enough. And that has only been discovered in literally like the past 2 to 4 weeks. There's just not enough space for everything. So we're still going to build it out. We're still going to build it out for students and classrooms and space, but we're thinking about a new welcome center like Katheryn mentioned. So there's going to be a lot of construction in 2026. We are going to build out more parking on the Souls College over here. We're thinking about more parking. We know we're out of parking. We're living with you through that. We're sorry. We're going to keep trying to make it better. But we need to grow, and we have a lot of plans to make it happen. So we're happy to take your questions. Thank you, Victoria, for sending a very long list of like 36 questions. We're happy to take them. Take anything, please. How long will there be updates to the strategic plan?
So when I came in, I actually inherited a plan that is set to expire essentially in about a year and a half. And so we kind of did a refresh, but likely we'll be going through a new holistic process of a strategic plan kind of starting next fall. I wouldn't expect it to look dramatically different, but I think that because it was just a refresh what we did, what we really want to do is go through the whole process where you listen to every stakeholder, you really bring everybody into that planning process to see how they want to be involved, what they think. And I think it'll be a great time to reflect on how have the last kind of at that time 2 years gone and how might we want to tweak it.
What else? I thought I saw another hand up.
Senator Bevel. So I saw your plans for adding more parking to the pharmacy area. Are those plans to just expand flat ground, or will we add a parking garage?
Yeah, by the time we build these new dorms, we're going to need a garage, a parking garage. Everything can't be flat. It's just not enough space. And so that we'd be looking at that by the time we get to the dorms.
Are there any other plans to change other flat parking lots to garage structures?
No, I would say it's a work in progress. And thank you for these good questions about parking, because it is kind of something that's changing over time. We're just trying to think about where's the best place. So right now, there's no other plans for garages other than the one that's possibly by pharmacy associated with the new dorm and adding on to this garage. With that being said, if we build a new welcome center, we will need to build parking associated with that. And we could consider some garage level parking with the welcome center on top, but we just don't know yet. Yes.
Senator Otiocha, my question is actually related to housing.
Okay.
With a lot of students being disappointed in the past year with the situation where a lot of students can get housing, I looked into the original plan you had, and Foundry was calculated in the offset for the housing issue. With the loss of the Foundry, would you say that this new dorm would suffice or be enough for students?
It's a great question. Is the dorm going to be enough for students? We're factoring that in, and we're still partnering with the Foundry, now called, I think, Varsity View. And I've been over to tour the new space where they've renovated the apartments. And we're working with them so that it's a good place for students to live, because it is essentially on our campus. And there's a lot of business reasons and other legal reasons and other things why we had to make some of those decisions. But they're very good partners. And we want to make sure students know that that's an option, as well as other things. To directly answer your question, we're trying to accommodate the growth that is happening on this campus as fast as we can. But we're living in some pretty interesting times. We weren't necessarily expecting to have 1,100 more students than last year. So we're trying to grow as fast as we can and get these things approved through the Board of Regents to serve you guys. And it is just not perfect. And I know that, and we're sorry for it, but we're just going to try to work with each and every student to make sure they have what they need. There are a lot of housing options around. They're just not all controlled by us. And so we recognize that and want to work together with those partners to make it the best it can be. What else? Yes.
Senator Arantes here. First of all, I wanted to say thank y'all for coming here and spending time with us. And this is really an awesome plan, and I appreciate y'all's effort for accommodating for the huge growth that the university has been having for the past years. But I did have a question for the Honors College specifically, and I guess it could apply to all the colleges as well. Since we're growing so fast, for some of the honors events, we haven't had a space that we could meet, like an indoor space. Previously, we could meet at the conference center, at the Ornelas Conference Center at the University Academy. But unfortunately, that's not available for us anymore, and I understand. But would there be maybe in the future a possibility of an indoor big meeting space that we could probably use?
Yes. Yes. And Honors College is really important. All the colleges, of course, are important to us, right? And right now, to be perfectly honest, we have some space, but it's not utilized well, and it all needs renovated and rethought. You know, the first thing I did when I first started as president, usually a year and a half ago, is walked all the space, and I felt like, my gosh, this felt like my parents' house when I was growing up. It felt old then, and now I go back to it, and I'm like, it's really old now. But when you're living in this space, you don't notice it as much. All of this to say we need more meeting spaces for students. We need more meaningful classroom spaces for students. And if we stick to our strategic plan, and we're not perfect, but we're trying very hard to do everything to serve students. And that means administration needs to eventually move out of where we are and give it back to students. We need to reconfigure a lot of spaces and give it back to students and students' orgs. And we're hoping we can do that as soon as possible. By the way, we're really proud of the Honors College. It's a really shining star for us.
It really is. And I'd say, and Dr. Philley can probably add to this, but even throughout this year, we're trying to turn spaces. There's some spaces in the library, different things that are getting reconfigured. Even if it's just, we can repaint it and kind of do a quick redesign so it can be utilized in the near term, not just in a couple of years. We're trying to do that and thinking about what could we do over the holiday so that maybe something looks a little different when you guys come back. No promises at all, but we're trying to put our foot on the gas and get things moving for sure.
Okay, Ivy?
Senator Monta, does the parking plans also apply to some of the campuses, like the Longview campus, where I know we are having a majority of students parking in the grass and there's not enough parking?
So thank you for that. And that's why I like coming here, is just to hear about concerns you don't hear about on a daily basis. So let us get back with someone on parking at the Longview campus. What I can tell you, I'm really proud about Longview, and this does not address your question, Senator, directly, but we need to address it because Longview is growing and we're excited about it. We're putting our physician assistant school there. I'm headed to Longview in the morning to assess the space and try to think about what it's going to look like in the future. And I will ask them directly about parking.
Senator Gasu here. My question, I appreciate you guys coming here, and I do see the efforts with the nursing, parking lot, and different things like that. My question is to Victory Village. As a upperclassman resident there, is there any plan? I know we're right next to a salon. Are we also thinking about Victory Village and how we can expand it, maybe a Met and different things like that, so we don't always have to commute on campus to eat at the Met? That makes sense.
To be honest, we have not discussed expanding food services to Victory Village. But we are talking dramatically about how we expand food services in general. Asking ourselves questions: where do these dining dollars need to be spent? What do people want? How do we provide variety? I myself would like to see more variety for you guys at night, on the weekends. I'm thinking about, again, what Katheryn was talking about. other options across the street to use dining dollars, but we haven't talked about expanding like like an extra Met across. But I think these are things to think about because it is a walk. I mean, it's a hike, and we know that. I see that. I see you.
Uh, Senator Guerra, of course, thank you for coming and sharing the plan with everyone. My question is really towards the plan of housing and what it connects to admissions. So, as you said, you have had unprecedented growth. I mean, getting 1,100 students in 1 year is incredible. But I know that that is a lot of taxing because a lot of them can be students who are coming from out of cities or out of state or even international students. With that, would that maybe influence while we are in the process of getting more housing, changing like admission criteria or changing maybe who would get priority, just depending on the situation?
You talk like you're someone on our team, you know, like all of you are asking the same questions we're asking ourselves, which means I'm encouraged that we're all worried about the same things. I'm not discouraged, but I do want you to know it is frustrating because I just wish we could fix all of this today. And it's going to take time for building and growth. We cannot let every single person in that wants to come in because we don't have the space. So we do have to ask ourselves, how do we do this? And how can we do it better and fairly and give everyone a chance? You know, really the reason we're all here is so that our lives can be transformed through higher education. And I do believe that higher education does that for all of us. It did it for me, it's doing it for you. And so we want as many people to experience that as possible. At the same time, we have to think about how do we serve the students that are already here. I think you bring up good points. I don't have the solutions to share with you, but the team is working on that because we have to think about those things every day. Yes.
Senator Dumas, I know that given the dramatic expansion that we've seen, that was something that we were talking about just now, of the number of students that are coming in, that obviously new buildings and the dramatic renovations take precedence over smaller projects. But I was wondering how the school is planning on addressing, you know, the sort of minor issues that face the buildings that, you know, they're working fine, but there's some quality of life improvements that could be made. For example, lighting on the pathway to the pharmacy building is poor, and at night that's a problem. And I was wondering, like, issues like that across the campus, how are those being?
Those are things I want to hear about. Those are things we should be able to fix. So if you run across these things, these smaller, what you might deem as a smaller project, if you'll let us know, we want to know about those things. We knew, I felt like signage was terrible. I hadn't grown up on this campus, so the first day I was here, I was like, people were asking me where to go. I couldn't find the signs to tell any of us where to go. We put some signs up. They're temporary. They're not that great, but it was better than what we had before. We noticed students were walking across, trying to get to Souls without a path. We made a path. We noticed people trying to get to the alumni house. There's no sidewalk. We put in a sidewalk. We can fix lighting. We can fix some of these things if we know about them, and don't assume that we do, or that the person you've told has made sure that we hear it. We want to know those things. If we can't fix it, we should be able to tell you we can't and why. So if you'll let us know those projects, let me know. So pharmacy lighting, if you can email us exactly the details, we'll work on that.
Senator Goldthorpe, I participated in Top 25, and talking to a lot of the students, they were relatively surprised to hear that we did not offer like ultrasound technology or anything like that. Do we have plans to add more programs as the college grows?
You mean like a degree in ultrasound, or
Just a degree in more, because I feel like we're losing a lot of students to TJC because we don't have certain programs. So do we have a plan to add those programs anytime soon?
I think it's a great question. And then how do we work with TJCs for things that make sense for TJC and things that make sense for us? There are some things that are state mandated, and also more within an associate degree career rather than a bachelor's degree. So we look at those things and try to figure out what makes sense for us and what makes sense for them. What I can assure you, if it translates into a good job and it's something that students want and the workforce needs, we want to grow those things here. Specifically, like for an ultrasound degree, we don't offer that at the bachelor level. It's just not a degree that's offered at that level, but we have plenty of ultrasound capabilities within our School of Medicine and Nursing and others to teach people how to do ultrasound as a part of like a nursing degree or a medical degree or other things. Yes.
Senator Houston.
Maybe not. You want this one? Here.
There it is.
You got it.
Senator Houston, so obviously you talk a lot about the physical aspects of the campus that need improvement, whether it be parking, dormitories, things like that for the students that are on campus. How do you balance that in the strategic plan to also accommodate for those that are focusing maybe on an online degree or a hybrid degree, something like that?
It's a great question. And it's something we think a lot about because it does look completely differently for people online and kind of degree by degree. Some degrees they enter as cohorts online, and it's a little bit easier to kind of have community type things. And some things have a lot of start times, and they're not necessarily entering in with a group of people. So it's something we want to hear feedback on if people have ideas of how to really engage people who are online learners. That is something we want to dig into. We certainly do not have all the answers at the moment, but as we think about student engagement, that is just like our distance campuses in Palestine and Longview and Houston. We've got to come up with some unique strategies for each of these different kind of audiences, if you will, who are having different experiences from the main campus experience. So any ideas, please, all are welcome, because it's an interesting nut to crack.
Okay, thank you for that. Senator Meyer.
Senator Meyer, this is like one of like a smaller issue and back to like housing as well. I have lived on campus and off campus, and one of the issues that I've heard and seen myself would be like the security. So I know we have like the campus police and they patrol the area, but like as far as like the security cameras within like seeing like for example Victory Village and like Liberty, it's apartment styles and they have like cameras on the floor. But every time like somebody has had an experience and they've gone to housing, they say that the cameras don't work. So is that something that we would report to you guys to fix or?
This was brought to my attention about a year ago that we had some cameras that weren't working. And I know I approved a lot, I say a lot, I know I approved the funding to replace those cameras. So that'll just be something, if you can add to our list, Victoria, that I can meet with the chief of police about and make sure that the cameras are functioning.
I will. Senator Muita.
Senator Mita here. I also do have a question in terms of meal plans. I know for those who commute, we're sometimes on the like alternate campus more like Longview or Palestine, and we don't have the opportunity sometimes to use a lot of our dining dollars, and I know meal plans are required. I know there is the option of, I know like if you're off campus and you do come to like the Tyler campus, you have the option of the commuters plan. Would we think of doing that for people who aren't on campus as much because they do have to like commute to Longview and Palestine but live in Tyler, or like having options in Longview and Palestine that like we can use our dining dollars for because it's kind of hard to utilize them if you're never on campus.
It sure is. And, you know, it is just more difficult if you're in Houston, Palestine, or Longview to have the same access to the things that we enjoy on the academic campus. And it's a problem on the North Campus too. And to be honest, it's going to be a problem in the new medical school building too, just because of the scale, as you guys can imagine, the scale of how do you offer these things and keep it fresh without things going to waste? How do you make it all work? I know that they had mentioned to me, and Josh chime in, but I know we had kind of been exploring some of those options. I'm happy to take that back to the team and just see what needs to be done to be a little more creative. I am encouraged that Fresh is doing their ribbon cutting right there by the Longview University campus. And I just wonder, these are the types of things I just wonder in the future, can we not partner with people, right? Do we have to reinvent the wheel? Could a great place like that within walking distance from our campus offer some solutions for us? I don't know, but we've all got to eat. I get it.
Vice
Other
President
questions?
Page. I would actually like to answer one of y'all's questions about university pride. So for the first half, what makes me most proud to be a UT Tyler student has really just been, I feel that I've been very lucky to sit in a lot of the seats that I've had access to. I wouldn't have known a lot of these things exist at a much larger university. Student Government Association was never on my radar whenever I initially got out here, and I especially did not expect to be sitting here today, being able to serve my fellow students. I've had the wonderful opportunity at the AACN Student Policy Summit to start to serve the university in DC. So I think the opportunities presented are what make me most proud. And for the traditions or experiences I would love to see grow, I am fortunately and unfortunately graduating this December. And as y'all know, midnight breakfast is very near and dear to our hearts here. And I would love to see it grow. Last semester, I believe it was roughly 840 students. And whenever we were planning it, I said, plan for 1,000. We want food for 1,000. I think they thought I was a little bit insane. I do not blame them. But we did have a recorded attendance of 1,132. That does not include any that do not have access to their cards or their email at the time of check-in. So I suspect it's higher. My question is, though, if you were to go back and watch our recording from our midnight breakfast debrief immediately following midnight breakfast, you'll hear me joke about, I expect y'all to break 1,500 next semester. That's unrealistic, but it will happen, whether next semester, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, this is going to continue to grow. At the current rate of growth, this is an amazing event we provide, but unfortunately, it does consume the entirety of our budget should there not be guaranteed support for it. We have been very lucky and we are very appreciative of the support from all the departments or anyone that has provided it. But at the moment, I believe the rough number is about $16,000, and I believe our budget is roughly $14,000 for the semester. So even if we got rid of SGAC, which provides up to $500 of funding for any student organization on campus that applies, or we got rid of senator project funding, senator tabling, or even just we only did midnight breakfast, it will not be what it continues to be, unfortunately.
So you need more cash? Okay.
I believe that this has been an amazing opportunity for the university.
You just start with that. I like it. Just say, hey, I hear you.
Yeah.
We'll address it, and I think we can come up with a solution for that. It was great this year, wasn't it great? I mean, y'all did a great job. It was so much fun. It is a signature event, but it is something we enjoy participating into, and it's great. And it'll be great in the spring. And we're going to try to do homecoming bigger and better than ever too. I think that is an event too that can just be a lot of fun. And so we're all in. We want it to be good for everyone, including ourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for having us. Listen, we love UT Tyler, and we really love working with all of you. And you're going to go on, you're going to do great things with your lives. And I hope that you'll remember your time here, like many of us did during our university days. It's a really special time of growth and excitement. Your lives are just beginning. It's just really great to see everything that you're going to do. And it's great that you've committed to participate in student government, right? Because if we all don't advocate for things, then the world doesn't change. I think there's plenty of hope for the future. So thanks for having us.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Philley and Ms. Lake, for coming and talking to us. We'll continue to our next item in the agenda. Okay, moving on to committee's reports, events.
All right. For events committee, we did meet last week. I spoke with Treasurer Barnes afterwards to make sure that we got the order from last semester's finals bags. That has been sent over to Josh, I believe. So as soon as possible, we'll get that in and we'll notify all y'all. I would encourage everybody to please help out with finals bags. It is a rather large undertaking, and we'll just have it set up in the office. Just put a sticker, put a candy or kind of whatever we're getting, and just pass it down the line, and we'll get them done pretty quick. Outside of that, yeah, that's really all for events. Well, we'll keep you updated. Thank you.
Communications unfortunately did not meet this week due to me being sick.
Treasurer Barnes, so SJC did meet on Thursday, November 4th, and we approved 4 events and denied 2, so stay with me. So the National Student Nursing Association requested $157.39 in Walmart items and CC's pizzas for their Friendsgiving and Future Focus meeting set to be held on November 19th, and it was approved for the allocated amount of $157.39. Estee Porter requested $79.99 for their Paint, Power, and Purpose meeting set to be held November 19th as well, and it was denied under the violation of Article 2, Section 7 of the SJC guidelines, which state that all activities, events, and projects funded in part or full by the SJC must follow the university guidelines, policies, and procedures, as well as federal, state, and local laws. The Pre-Dental Society requested $168.07 in Little Caesars Pizza for their UTTPDS third meeting set to be held on November 10th, and it was approved for an allocated amount of $40 in CC's Pizza due to some of the items requested not being approvable for funding through SJC. So the Hispanic Student Association at UT Tyler requested $169.29 in CC's Pizza and Walmart items for their UT Tyler Pan Con Chocolate with HSA event set to be held on November 12th, and it was approved for an amount up to $169.29 as well. So, Minorities in Business and Alpha Beta Psi co-sponsorship meeting requested $356.90 for their guest speaker, Donnie Asbell, set to be held on November 12th, and it was denied under the violation of Article 5, Section 3, which states that all SJC guidelines which meet during the request hearing, the authorized representative for the host organization and co-host organization will be required to provide an account of responsibilities, explaining what each organization intends to be accountable for, as well as Article 5, Section 7, which states an authorized representative from each organization must be present at the hearing. And then lastly, the American Society of Heat, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers requested $154.51 for their ASHRAE electrical bill outreach event set to be held on November 13th, and it was denied due to the affiliated party being unable to attend the meeting for reasons not disclosed to the SGAC and not having an individual able to request funding on their behalf.
Thank you, Treasurer Barnes, for your excellent report. Chief of Staff Burns, Rules Committee did not meet last week, and but I do have good news. Our amendment is completely approved by Dr. Ferguson. It was signed off yesterday morning at 7:15 a.m. It's a little bit of it was a little close, but it is posted on the website and it's officially in effect. So thank you all. That's all I got.
Senator Shallard, ESC did not meet, but I am still working closely with Bonnie Davis on the event she wants in the spring and the thing that we want to do with the pond. I'll keep you posted.
Okay, moving on to Longview campus.
Senator Muita here. I did not have the chance to meet with our dean. Unfortunately, she did pass away. But I am attempting to meet with our like I guess assistant student dean a step in. I have, but that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not too updated, but hopefully I'll have something more for everyone um in the near future.
Thank you for that, Ivy. Moving on to Palestine campus.
Senator Meyer, I've been working with Dr. Dudley, which is our site coordinator at Palestine campus. If you don't know, it's like the nursing campus for Palestine. But we've kind of just been working with her. I'm hoping to get another senator for our Palestine campus today, so that she can work with me hand in hand and Dr. Dudley, basically with just like our housing situation, because we've had in just the past year 2 students pass away like on their drive to Palestine, because it is kind of a long drive and early mornings and late nights. So we're just working on trying to get partners with a couple of the apartments close by the Palestine campus to see if we can kind of partner with them for housing and also just like food options that we can have, because if you live on campus in Tyler, you do have to use your meal swipes. So
Thank you, Senator Meyer. Moving on to the Health Science Center. Do we have anyone who has anything to report over Health Science Center? Seeing none, I'll move on to officer reports. So this week, I've just been prepping for UTSAC, and Hayden and I will travel down there this Friday and Saturday. I had my one-on-one with Josh on Monday and today, and my one-on-one with Dr. Philley is this Thursday, where I will provide her system updates and updates on student issues. And then I've just been in communication with a couple other students who are interested in getting a senator position as well.
Vice President Page. There really hasn't been a lot going on. We're kind of just waiting on the finals bags, things to get ordered and get in. It's been my main thing. I'm kind of just prepping for the end of year transition that will be occurring over the next couple weeks. We'll talk about that a little bit later today, either in new business. Yeah, probably a little bit in new business, or announcement, whichever we choose. Other than that, if you have not signed up for that little the SGA interviews, please do. The first few happened today. They went really, really well. And I actually might need to talk about those with some of y'all because I think I double booked some of y'all tomorrow, or sorry, Thursday. I entirely forgot about our e-board meeting I had scheduled, but we'll figure it out, and I'll work with y'all. Other than that, yeah.
Secretary White, this week I haven't been able to do much. I've been really sick. However, I'm trying to stay active on the Instagram and repost for different orgs, and I've been attending our e-board meetings, trying to stay up to date on that stuff.
Treasurer Barnes, so last week we had an SGIC meeting and it was very informative. Shout out to my committee because y'all are all absolutely excellent. We had some technical difficulties and everyone was able to be very compliant and keep the show going, which was absolutely amazing. But something that I did notice with the organizations that I met with was a information gap between what are approved vendors on campus and what SGAC is allocated to provide to student orgs through university pay. And so something that I am going to be soon collaborating with Josh on in our one-on-one is potentially finding a way to give this information efficiently to the student body while also staying compliant with the university guidelines and making it as easily to update for us as well. And so that's kind of been my main focus right now is kind of finding ways to navigate that since it is still early in production. Additionally, I did attend my one-on-one with Vice President Page to discuss the upcoming improvements within SGA. And then lastly, I have been working on revising the SGAC guidelines because there is some recurring confusion about certain articles within that document as well. And quite frankly, I I'm kind of tired of having to send the emails, and the best way to do that is to update the guidelines and make it um, more easily accessible to understand for the individuals who are inquiring about the topic. And so that's about all I have for you today.
Chief of Staff Burns, this week, the main thing is that I met with Dr. Ferguson about the amendment and had a couple phone calls with him just to kind of answering some last minute questions before it got approved. And then I emailed Mr. Samuel White, who is very great at responding, by the way. Kudos to him for every time I need him to update the Constitution on the website, he does it within like 10 minutes and it's wonderful. But the Constitution is now updated. And so you guys can go on the UT Tyler website and you can see the amendment is now there and it shows like kind of the new formatting changes, which was nothing crazy. It was just fixing the line spacing. And then for this week, Rules Committee will meet on Thursday. And so if you guys have anything to talk about, or if you have some issues that you guys are seeing, then please show up because, we have a lot that we definitely can talk about. And so I really want to encourage everyone to kind of stay involved with rules, even though we have passed an amendment. So, thank you guys. Appreciate it. That's all I got. Oh, and I'm preparing to go to UTSAC with Victoria on Friday.
Okay, moving on to old business. Does anyone have anything to add to old business? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to hold special elections. Okay. So I will first ask Christopher Mitchell, who is seeking the seat of the College of Education and Psychology.
Point of order, we need a motion to open new business.
I entertain a motion to open new business. Okay. I entertain a motion to open special elections. Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, okay, here we go. Hi, I'm Christopher Mitchell. I am a psychology major. I am also a freshman, class of 2029. I am running for the psychology and education seat because I am very passionate about creating an environment that is not only focused on our intelligence, but also our emotions. Because a lot of students do struggle with balancing coursework and also balancing their personal lives. From my experience, I've had 3 jobs in high school and I was a senior. I know. I was a singer, but also doing that, going into that, my experiences with stuff like this, SGA, I have been in the DeSoto Teen Council for 2 years. I was a secretary and accumulated 600 hours in community service. I have met with the mayor of DeSoto and the mayor of Dallas and Jasmine Crockett, the representative of Dallas and all that area. And I've just met a lot of political figures, and I feel like I am appropriated for this job just because I have that experience also with NHS in my own student governments at my school, which I was also the secretary there when I accumulated, I believe, 100 hours there. I also run my own blood drive. I did contact Carter Blood Care. I was very talkative with them, and we have had 3 at my school before I graduated. So anything else I would say why I'm interested also is to make more events for people who are struggling with their personal lives and coursework. I want more wellness walks, more communication with each other. I just want us to feel like we are all a big family under under psychology and education. So I would say that I would love for you, if you do elect me, I will be very close to my other senators. I would very communicate with them almost every day because I feel like there's so much to talk about. So, and I'm done.
Does the Senate have any questions?
Tell me about being a singer. What you said you were a singer?
A singer?
Yeah.
No, no, I didn't say I was a singer.
What? No, I thought you said it was a singer.
No,
Maybe you said when you were a senior.
Oh yeah, when I was a senior. So when I was a senior, I was saying that I ran like 3 blood drives and all that.
Oh, so I thought you were like, I was a singer and I also ran blood drive. Nope.
No,
Never mind.
I mean, I can try to sing, but I don't think I can make it.
Vice President Page, I'm not sure if I have a better question than that. But you got to sit in on a very interesting meeting today. It's not often that, President Philly comes to speak. So given, you were in their shoes, because, if you're elected, you will be at some point. What's something you might have asked, because that affects college psychology or really just students in general?
I would ask about the funding. I would want more funding going towards not just college education, but just more events in general for our students. I want to know if they will be raised. I'm sorry, if money, sorry, taxes, whatever you want to call them, sorry, will be, sorry, tuition. There we go. Will tuition be raised? If they do all this, how much will it be raised by? If anything, will it affect how much we are paying? Like, I want to know all that information as well. So that's what the information I would have asked if I was a senator at that time.
Okay, does anyone else have any more questions for Christopher? Okay, seeing none, Chief of Staff Burns will escort you out. Okay, does anyone have any comments or questions or concerns?
Senator Bevel, I motion to open voting on special elections.
Second.
There we
Okay, all those in favor of voting Christopher as a College of Education and Psychology Senator, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? Okay, and any abstentions? All right, seeing none, that passes. Please clap for him as he comes back in. Do you have his phone? Okay, our next candidate is Emily Baker.
Thank you so much. Okay, hi, I'm Emily Baker. I'm also a freshman. My major is health professions, so I'm heading for the pre-med route. So I do a lot. I'm interested in, I'm sorry, I'm running for an Ornelas Hall seat. I abbreviate OHAL. I'm running for an OHAL seat because I'm interested in helping those residents that are there. As a freshman myself, I know that it can be kind of scary living in a new place and trying to make like friends with your roommates that you've never known before, because both of my roommates are very new to me, but I've created lifelong friends out of them. And I feel like a lot of residents at OHAL don't feel like they're heard. And I know that a lot of them have had complaints about the roommates that don't get heard as much, especially since their RAs are still humans and are busy with their own stuff. So I want to be that person that can advocate for them through this. I am someone who is very passionate about helping people and will go out of my way to help people. I was involved in speech and debate for 3 years and actually went on to the state level competing in debate. So I'm not shy when it comes to arguments or trying to win my point over. I also have a lot of service hours through NHS, Student Council, and Key Club, and I was an officer in one act play. So again, I'm not shy at all. Let's see. I don't know if I can top Chris's service hours. That was insane even to me. But I really am interested in making a difference, not only in OHAL, but in the campus as a whole. And I feel like a good way to do that would be to join this group and make sure that I can advocate for those people that can't be heard themselves. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily.
Secretary White here. Do you have any ideas on how you could get the residents of OHAL together to help meet each other?
Yeah, so I was actually thinking we have a library space in OHAL that's very rarely used. I've only used it one time, and I feel like that would be a good space to kind of get together, especially if you're having trouble in your major. You can meet people from your major, have study groups or anything like that. I've also went door to door to people and handed out sweet treats to them. Like for Halloween, me and my roommate, we made cookies, Halloween themed cookies, and went door to door to all of the people in our hall and just gave them it and like talked to them. We decorate our door every holiday. Like right now, we have a Thanksgiving turkey up, and we went around door to door, all of the floors, and got handprints from people to make a little hand turkey. So I'm already starting to try to like get involved with people going door to door, especially. And I feel like organizing events such as like a study group or even just like a get together, like everyone brings like something like some sort of food, or if you can't, just show up just to kind of meet each other.
Nice. Do we have any other questions from the Senate? Okay, seeing none, Chief of Staff Burns will escort you out of the hall while we deliberate. Okay, comments, questions, or concerns, or you're free to discuss. Yeah.
So, okay. Senator Gasu, I like the fact that she goes door to door to do these different things. And I think she'll actually make a great RA, actually. I think she's going to bring a lot to the table because of the fact that she's already interacting with the freshmen. I've been in speech and debate. It's very hard to put yourself out there, and I think she did great. So did anybody want to? Okay, with that being said, I entertain the motion to start voting.
Okay, that was seconded. All those in favor of voting Emily Baker as an Ornelas senator, please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you. All those opposed, please raise your hand. And any abstentions? Okay, thank you. That passes. As she walks in, please make sure to clap for her so she knows she has won this position. Okay, and then we have one last candidate. Kelsey, will you please come before us?
Hi, my name is Kelsey Amix, and I really want to join SGA because I really want to make a difference with the campus, especially Palestine, as we are a much smaller campus than Tyler, and we need a lot more resources. As a nursing student, we definitely don't have as nice of equipment as Tyler, and a lot of old equipment that doesn't work sometimes, especially in Sim Lab. So I really just want to advocate for Palestine and the Palestine students. I really am interested in being a senator because I definitely want to be more involved on campus, especially like things like midnight breakfast and organizations like that. Um, it was a lot of fun to be a part of, and it really would be more fun for me to be included as y'all were. So if y'all have any questions, I would love to answer them.
Treasurer Barnes, how did you hear about SGA?
I heard about SGA through Sanaya as we both go to Palestine together, and we both she told me about it, and I really feel motivated to be involved, especially for Palestine, and I definitely want to be more involved just on campus. So.
Okay, does anyone else have any more questions for Kelsey? Okay, seeing none, Chief of Staff Burns will escort Kelsey out of the room while we deliberate. Okay, guys, what did y'all think?
Senator, uh, Senator Bevel, do we already have a senator for the Palestine campus? Yes. Okay. Sorry, that was.
Yeah, Senator Meyer. So I am for the Palestine campus. I did the voice report today. We have, I believe, 3 seats. I was just no. I was just saying. That was not a shot. I swear. I was just saying. I did the voice report today. But as a Palestine campus senator, I do know it's gonna take a lot more than one person and one head to get all the things that need to be done in that campus done. Because there is a lot. Like she said, the equipment is old. We get all the passed down Tyler equipment. And I just feel like we need to do better as like seeing Palestine campus and Tyler campus and Longview campus as one and not as 3 separate campuses. So just having another head, I've been searching forever to find somebody who was interested in doing this position and like willing to just step up and meet with the people that we need to meet with to get things done. So I'd appreciate having another head in the circle. But that's all.
For Barnes, kind of knowing that y'all have obviously like been in collaboration and discussion about this, have y'all kind of discussed? I would have totally asked her this if I would have like known that information, but have y'all discussed any of the plans or what you're maybe thinking about doing?
Okay. Yeah, so we talk a lot all the time. So basically like the most important thing for me and is just like the housing aspect because one, we don't have any housing in Tyler, we're running out, and two, there's none in Palestine. And that's an hour drive every single day. Granted you can carpool and all that stuff, but it saves a lot of time. When you have exams at 8 a.m. and you have to leave at 6, when you have clinicals at 6 a.m. and you have to leave at 4:30, it's really hard. The sleep is rare. So just like that's one of the like the main concerns that we have so far is like the safety with the driving, and housing, and just trying to like partner because there are like apartment complexes that are super close to the Palestine campus. So that's like one of the first things we want to try to do is like partnering with them. So whether we have to talk to housing here, the president, the site coordinator, like whoever we need to meet with, that's like our main focus.
Secretary White. I would also like to add for the Senate that we do have 2 spots available for the Palestine.
One, sorry. There's 2 seats. That's my bad.
Correction, we do have one available. And also, I think it's a great idea to have more representation of all of our different campuses. We want to have as many voices from all of our students available as much as we can because, you know, there are things that we miss because they're not always on campus. And so it's really important to get their point of view and what they're dealing with as well so we can help them.
Senator Bevel, I motion to vote on special elections.
Okay, that was seconded. All those in favor of voting Kelsey as a Palestine campus senator, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, that passes. As she walks in, please clap to make her know that she has won the position. Okay, congratulations on y'all's new roles. As senators, we have a tradition of taking the oath. So if you guys may, please stand up and place your right hand over your heart and repeat after me. Okay, I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of insert position. For the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. Okay, thank you. All right, is there anyone else here for a special election? Okay, seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the special elections discussion. Is that carried in second? Okay, that was carried and seconded. Does anyone have anything else to add to new business? Oh, yeah. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? All right. Yeah. Uh,
Vice President Page, I entertain a motion to speak about the upcoming transition. All right. So, this is a little bit different than other elections. So starting next week, we will be taking nominations for an e-board position. We're not entirely sure which e-board position that will be yet, because my position will go to the line of succession first, that line being president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, chief of staff. So one of these positions will be open. So I would encourage y'all to, start considering if this is something that you would want to kind of pursue. Reach out to really any of us. If you're like really curious about, treasurer, don't reach out to me. I don't know a lot about that. Please reach out to Treasurer Barnes. But all of us can probably give you some insight of what it's like to be on an e-board. A lot of y'all should be eligible. It is 8 meetings or 1 semester. So if you have any questions about eligibility, please talk to us and we'll confirm with Josh. And you can be nominated, and then we will confirm eligibility before the vote the following week. So start thinking, today. Nominations will be next week. And then whenever we come back after Thanksgiving break, on December 2nd, that'll be our last meeting, we will have the vote. So are there any questions at this time? No? Okay, well, please reach out if you're curious about any of these positions. With that, I guess I entertain a motion to close this discussion.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Any abstentions? Okay. I entertain a motion to close new business. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Moving on to advisor comments.
All right, so really good meeting. And so y'all look amazing. I got a little worried there at the beginning though, because I was hoping y'all would have arrived a little bit earlier, but I'm grateful that y'all are all here. Y'all asked great questions. It's cool to see some of the updated changes. And so hopefully that y'all are excited, and hopefully a lot of your questions have been addressed. If any of your questions were not addressed, my advice would be to email President Okafor, and so that way she can relay those questions up to Dr. Philley. And so great job, and it was a very good, productive conversation. I also want to brag on Chief of Staff Burns, fastest constitutional amendment in SGA history. And so that was impressive. And so I think the last one took roughly about 1.5 years, just because there was a lot of transition at the institution, there was a lot of major updates and how to look at that and whatnot. So there was it took a long time for that last edit, but this one, 2 weeks is pretty impressive. And so kudos to y'all. I've never seen an amendment that quick, so that's a good practice. And hopefully we keep that momentum going as far as updating the information. So a lot of good feedback on the student voice reports and with some of the comments that were shared during Speaker's Podium. It's always good to hear from our distance campuses. The needs and challenges on those campuses are vastly different than the main campus. So it's y'all's job to make sure every student voice is heard, regardless of the location, including online. And then the only other comment is to the Vice President's comment about midnight breakfast. I do think 1,500 is possible. And so we're just going to get a little creative on the space. The UC can only hold so many folks at one time. But I do think there are some creative ways that we can challenge that. And then just to be on the record, do not worry about the budget. We will figure out how to fund that one way or another. And so in conversations with both Katheryn and Dr. Philley, they're beyond supportive of midnight breakfast, and we will make it happen one way or another. So I have already officially submitted that as part of the homecoming budget requests. And so we will, once I have an update, I will share that. But either way, no need to worry about that. Go ahead and start planning for next semester. And that's to all of y'all. And so other than that, this is 2 other announcements. If you're interested in the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board student representative, applications are due next week. So ideally, I would like to see those by end of this week, so I'll have time to make sure that they are packaged fully correctly. And then the other thing is our women's soccer team has advanced to the semifinals in the Lone Star Conference. And so I sent out a message today. We're kind of gauging interest to see if students would be interested in taking a road trip on Thursday. If I get enough of students who are interested in going on that trip, then we will take a trip.
And so the location's in Dallas at Dallas Baptist University. The game's at 5 o'clock. We would leave UT Tyler around 2:30. Depending on how late the game goes, we should be back on the main campus by 10 p.m. And so transportation, a ticket to the game, because since it's postseason, it does cost to get in. We would cover that, as well as one meal. And so, but if you have class, it will not excuse you from class. Class comes first. So don't skip class. But if you're interested, I need you to email me back before 12 p.m. tomorrow. And so that way we can make a decision if we have enough students who sign up. The more the merrier. I mean, we want to make sure it's a home game for the other school. Fun fact, they're also the Patriots. So it would be cool if our Patriots showed up and cheered on our team. And so we would love to do that. If we do not get enough interest, we will host a watch party on campus in the Patriot Zone at 5 p.m. So either way, we're going to support our Patriots, whether it's there or here. So very important on that. Other than that, keep up the good work.
Okay, for announcements, we have the walk to end all Alzheimer's December 6th, and then finals bags, we're in the planning session of that. And then for the East Texas Big Event, one of our required events next semester will be February 28th, so go ahead and add that to your calendar. And then our next meeting will be November, one more announcement.
I got a different one than you, I think. Okay. Patriot Premiere is this upcoming Saturday, the 15th. It is not a required event. We will be tabling there, so if you're able to show up, I would really love for you to show up. We're also going to be helping Corbin Hamner, I believe, with some like guiding students around campus, depending on how many students we have. I'm not sure exactly what time the arrival time is yet. It starts at 10 a.m. I'm going to encourage you all to be at like the SGA office if you're able to be there by 9. Parking is going to be packed for this event, so get there early if possible. And given that it's not too cold, we don't have our SGA shirts in yet. So if we all have the matching midnight breakfast shirt, if y'all could please wear that. I also, unfortunately, have a clinical that morning, so I should be there like an hour or two late, unfortunately. But I believe Treasurer Barnes should be there. I believe. So I'll work with her to make sure everything's coordinated, and we'll get it done. But yeah, thank you.
All right, one last announcement. If you were just sworn in, please come see me so I can enter your name into our information.
Okay, our next meeting is November 18th at 5:30 in this building, same room. I entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay,